Hello everyone, Jeff with the Green Review. Today we're installing a formal boxwood hedge. So we're making a half circle here, another half circle on the other side, so it's going to be a formal garden, and we want these to match. Now when you start out with a brand new hedge, you can set the scaffolding for the plant. If it's a potted plant, maybe it's a deciduous plant that's only got a few stems coming up from the ground, you could prune them back a little bit when you plant them, but then in the first dormant season you want to prune them back heavily, maybe cutting off at least half of the plant. So you force the plant to send out a lot of branches from the existing trunks and maybe new trunks from the root system. And that'll give you a good scaffolding start. And then you may do that 2 or 3 years in a row. The first few years of putting in a hedge that's going to be in a formal garden or in a straight line, then you want to have a good scaffold system set up at the very beginning. You don't want to have long stems that get trimmed at the top and have a little broom handle effect of a bunch of bristles at the top and long, weak stems. You want to start low and get a lot of branching, go up a little higher, get a lot of branching, go up a little higher, get a lot of branching, and you'll have a good, strong scaffold framework for your hedge. Now in this case, these are balled and burlapped, and so there's a lot of size discrepancies. If you get container grown plants, a lot of times those are clones, and so they're almost identical, and so you're going to have a lot nicer hedge effect because they're all almost identical plants. And so in this case, these plants are about half the size that we're going to let them grow, so we are at that smaller size. They have a lot of branches, they're very dense, so we can cut them back a little bit and still have our good scaffold system set up. Now we've got a few, like this one in the end, that's a little taller, so we're going to start getting our shape by evening out this group. So we're going to take a little bit more off the top of this one and a little bit less off the third one over there that's already low, and we're going to work our way across top, and then we're going to start creating the curve. What we're going to do is cut off the front face of the round part on these and leave the spots in between because those need to come out. We don't want to follow this shape and have a lumpy hedge. We want to have the rounded part off and let the other part grow in. So it takes a little time to fill in these things, but as the first person to prune these, we get to choose the shape. So we're going to have 2 straight sides and a straight flat top, and the top of these is going to be slightly narrower than the bottom. It's going to flare out a little bit so sunlight can hit those bottom branches. We're not going to be going completely vertical as we do our pruning. So those are the beginning steps on setting up a hedge, and really the steps that you need to follow on any formal hedge of having the bottom wider than the top and not going in and out. You want to be able to create the shape that you want and maintain it that way from the very beginning. After 2 growing seasons, the boxwood hedge on the sunny side of the formal garden is slightly yellow, and the gaps between plants have still not completely grown in. The red flower carpet roses in front of the boxwoods love the sun. On the shady side of the garden, the boxwood hedge is green and is completely filled in the gaps, while roses have struggled in the shade. Thanks for watching.